G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Happy New Year! It's New Year's Day 2024. I'm up the shed early and it's hot and muggy. I believe we're only going to have about 29-30 degrees today, but the humidity is just stifling at the moment. Through this last week, up in the shed here, we were supposed to get 35 and 36, and I actually measured a 38 just with the heat gun on the back wall just to get the ambient temperature because there's no sun there, sort of thing, and just I tested a few things, and so it was getting warm, and I lost some juice. I've just put this shirt on for the stew, my first shirt for the morning. It's only 7 o'clock, and my first shirt for the morning's hanging up over there drying out, and I've got a fan, just a little 30 centimetre fan, probably 10 foot away behind the camera here, just keeping a bit of breeze circulating. So I'm sort of hoping, I can hear just a slight buzz of it, but I'm sort of hoping that it's not coming through in the sound too badly, but I suppose I'll know in editing. Not sure how much rain we had over the year. We used to keep yearly records, and Judy always writes it on calendars and things, and I said, how'd we go for the year for rain? And she said, look, this year she sort of lost track there somewhere. We had those dry spells and lost track, but since including Christmas Day to the 1st of January, we've had 130 millimetres. So that's 4.5 inches possibly, something like that of rain. And the humidity has just been out there. You're flat drinking enough water, and your shirt, you're just dripping in sweat all day. I'm wiping it off me mow and that now. But look, that's just this time of year, that's how it is. The week between, look, I've done no filming at all. I've had a bit of a hiccup with some of the parts that I was looking for the Massey 20. And I was hoping to sit on my stool and just do a couple of videos around the Massey 20 of bits and pieces. And I have done a couple, but at the moment I'm waiting on Sparex. And I put an order in probably 2 weeks before Christmas, and it sort of went dead. And later I found out the reason it went dead is Caleb, my contact, he was away on leave. His grandma died over in New Zealand. So he had a couple of weeks over in New Zealand, and he got back just before Christmas, and we rang up for a chat. He rang up for a Christmas chat and how we going and that. And I said, how'd we go with those parts, Caleb? Have you had a look at that? And he said, oh, haven't you got them yet? And I said, well, no, not if you haven't done it, I haven't got them. And he said, oh, shit, no. He said, I'll get that happening right away. So he ordered them before Christmas, and he was telling me probably last week between Christmas and New Year's, the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday there, he said, you'll probably have them then, and that'll keep the project going. But it just didn't work like that. No harm done, sort of thing. So what I'm waiting on there is I'm waiting on the left-hand kingpin housing, because that's got the wrong one on, and a left-hand kingpin. And there's sort of no use setting up the steering rams and finishing off the power steering until I get the front. There's no use putting it all together, then pulling it all apart and things like that. I've thought of a couple of quick videos I could possibly do on, undoing the tie rods and popping the rubbers on, but I covered putting a rubber on, doing the power steering cylinders, so I just haven't been doing anything on that. It's just until I get the next parts, I'm a bit stuck. So, but that's all right. Look, it's been nice to have a break, and with the rain and showers and thunderstorms, boy, we had some cracker storms. You couldn't do much filming in here anyway. I did have plans of getting the grill off the Massey 135 and painting it where that silver's coming off, but I've left that intact at the moment. And the reason being, well, one, the humidity for painting, it's probably not the smartest thing to be doing. And the other thing was I've ordered a new 14-inch grill for the Massey Ferguson 20 with Sparex, so I'm hoping for that to turn up. Then when that grill turns up, I'm going to paint it the Massey Ferguson 135 colours, so I can just pop pop one off, pop one on. And so it's not down for a week sort of thing. And then the grill off the 135, I can sandblast that and put it on the Massey 20. So, and I've got to put a hole in the bottom apron of the 135 yet. But I haven't done anything on that just at the moment. I've in the place here, on our property here, in the last 2 weeks, we've put out 110 litres of Roundup, and that's spraying the fence lines and where I slashed the trees in the paddock there, spraying around them so the slasher, I don't have to get so close, keeping the weeds from growing up around the shed here. Even we had, in one storm, we had 2 inches of water going through the carport out the side here, where I've got the tractors, the new carport, and even the little seeds that washed in there, all these little seedlings, so I've been going in between the tractors with the Roundup spray, and the tractors out the back, cleaning them up. And we've mowed twice, mowed all the lawns. I've only mowed the orchard once in a week, and the grass is this high, it's going to be hard work when it's done, but up around the house and that, we mowed before Christmas, and we mowed in between the week there, so in 10 days we've mowed twice, and the grass has probably grown 50, 60 millimetres. So with the rainfall that we're having just at the moment, the storms and that, and the humidity, everything is just sprouting up. So I'm spending a lot of time on the mower, and that's okay. I've just about run myself out of mower fuel, so I'll have to put the 20 litre drums in the back of the Land Cruiser and take them up to the local service station and get myself 150 litres of petrol or something like that. And it's going to be an expensive exercise. The 110 litre tank on the Land Cruiser is empty, and the 130 litre tank on the Land Cruiser's got about a quarter in it. Then I've got the diesel for the tractors, for the the John Deere 1640 for slashing the paddock here and looking after the place. So I'm getting through a bit of petrol, a little bit of fuel, but that's okay. Just par for the course. The other night, one of the storms, we had all the power went out, and so I got our little camping generator and I took it up to the house, and we're not on mains water here because we have the tanks, as you will all probably know, and I hooked the pressure pump in so we could have a shower before dark. And then I've got the house wired so we can plug a generator into the power box, and it just does power points on the front half of the house, so that looks after the fridges, the telly and all that. But the little switch, we hadn't used it in some time, and I flicked it up, and it was hard as buggery to flip up, and it didn't contact, and I thought, oh shit, here we go. So I flicked it back down again, then ended up getting the generator started, and I thought, well, at least I can run cords in the doors, because at this time of year all the fridges and freezers are full. You got leftover Christmas food, you got way too much, so it's important to keep the fridges up and running. So but anyway, second time I got it, but it was that stiff I cut my finger on the bloody switch doing it. So I'll have to get Nick, our electrician, to pop a new switch in, like at work, but next time it may not. So I don't know if he's on holidays or not, but I'll get him to put it on his list of things to do, and he might look after that for us. But the power was out for a bit over 4 hours, and the little 2 kVA generator, little Yamaha 2 kVA generator, I wasn't aware that the fridge in the pool room was hooked to the same system, and it is. And the little generator, it'd work away, then she'd go out on trip overload, and I was thinking, it should be running this. But anyway, once I worked out it was trying to run a fridge freezer combination, a big freezer, and then another fridge freezer out in the pool room, plus the internet and the microwave and all the other crap you have turned on. Once I got rid of a bit of that, well, it was okay. But the generator come in handy. But I do have a big old Chinese diesel generator that I bought before, I must have bought it about 2011, I think. And I went and did a practice run starting it. I don't keep a good battery in it because we start it so little. I probably haven't even run it for 2 years. So I took the jumper leads up and got it going yesterday. So if we need power in this stormy season, and we can get the big generator. It's a 6 kVA. So if we needed, we could run 2 generators. That's if I go and buy some fuel, of course. So see how we go there. With 2024, the year coming, we have no major plans. I would like to get that 65 finished when I can walk around a bit better. Now, my knees, they come pretty good. And the left-hand one that was really giving me curry with the torn meniscus, the hole there, it gave me curry early. But it's been getting better and better. And I've just got my normal Dicky one that cracks and pops and crunches now. So that's okay. I've been living with that for years. But once I get on the rider mower and the tractor, using the clutch and all that sort of thing, it fires it up sometimes. So today it's fired up a little bit because, we were mowing and we've had some avocado trees in pots and things like that. So Judy wanted them planted out. So I've been over the orchard digging holes and buggering around, doing stuff you probably shouldn't be doing, but that's what you do, eh? And but over the break between Christmas and New Year's, I've had a 3 horsepower international famous engine from the Rum City Vintage Machinery Club, which is our local machinery club, and it was donated by the Truscott family and to our club, and they had it running and all, but it had load up and labour, and it just needed a good sort out and a clean out. So probably halfway through last year, maybe before, I offered to help them out with it and tidy it up and try and get it sorted. So I thought, well, I didn't want to go outside in the hot sun any more than I needed to, and I could set a fan up near myself and keep a bit cool, keep the sweat from dripping down my face. I'd work on that. And for those of you who are on Bundy Bear's Shed Instagram page, you'll see what I've been doing with it. And look, I've been quite enjoying it. It's just a break from the tractors. It's still mechanicking sort of thing. A couple of weeks back I sent to America for some parts for it, and they actually turned up last week. So we got the piston rings. Now this is interesting. Now this is the old international famous ring. Now you can see that's very fat here and thin there, and that's just how they were in the day. I was reading how they did that, and it had different spring tensions all the way around. But nowadays, the ones you buy are just these big solid fellas. So I've got to slide them into the bore yet and just make sure the gap's right and things like that. So I got them. I've got a new head gaskets and new fuel pump springs. I had valve springs for my own engines here, so I used mine on the club engine, and then I've just replaced them. I'm not charging the club for any of this. I'm paying for all that myself. This is the fuel pump off the engine, and this plunger just works up and down on a cam. It's got a lever on a cam, and that just lifts that up and down. That was very rusty, so I've made one. I've turned that up out of 316 stainless. Reason being is that it sits, these engines, like, it'll be at the club, the club owns it, it'll be at their place, at the shed, and it probably won't get used a lot. It'll sit, so a stainless steel shaft makes sense. We've also got a stainless steel water pump shaft, but I've bead blasted this, and I may even polish this up a little bit yet. We'll just see. There's a bit of work to do with that. The conrod here, on Instagram, so look, hop on. If you want to see what goes on that doesn't get filmed, hop on Lance Maskell, my Facebook page, and whatever I post there automatically goes to Instagram. So either, or just if you're curious. But yeah, this, I just had a heap of piston slop, and the gudgeon bush here was loose in the housing, but I've been able to, it's a split bush, and I've been able to adjust it up and find a happy place where I still have a little bit of slop here, because this is splash feed, so you don't want it bloody racing car engine specs, 135 specs. You want a little bit of oil gap in there. You don't want them tight. So that's done. The oil, I have to put the rings on the piston and do all that sort of stuff here yet, put the piston back on. The holes where it splash feeds, it's got a little dipper. And it's only got so much oil in the sump, and it's got a little dipper, and it sprays it up against the wall of the crankcase, and it gets caught down these little holes, and that gives the big end oil. So I've never thought they were big enough, so I've just run a centre drill down through them and just made a slight bigger funnel to get the oil in there. I've got the flywheel off one side. At the end of the stew, I will go for a walk. I'll just show you what I've done, what's left of it. At the moment, today I plan on sitting there and battling and getting this old clutch pulley off. It's got a clutch pulley that's been welded and it's bodged up. It should have an engage handle. All that's gone. So I was talking to Tony, he's a 2IC of the club, and we'll probably take that off and I'll just chuck it with my stuff. And I do have a proper International Harvester pulley to go on it. That's not a clutch, it's just a normal live pulley. And that will be a little bit narrower, and I don't know, that's what we've decided to do anyway. But yeah, they want this engine painted red with black spokes on the flywheel, black flywheels. So that's fine. Some will like that, and others, I've been looking at a lot of photos of them again recently, and a lot of them, some of them, the early ones may have been black flywheels, but a lot of them were green, like this one, green and red. But anyway, Tony said he'd like it black, so that's yeah, look, it's only paint for me. Doesn't matter. But I've got the head done. I think I might have showed you last time. I've CNC'd the little flat. Through the week, I've machined up. Where are we here? Now this is the water pump, and the water pump, it's got a little lever there, and when you turn it upwards, that knocks the valves off the seat in the pump here. I made all this, but I've made that a while ago now. But I had to make this, and I had to make the new gland nut. And what this does, when you turn it up, it lifts the valves off the seats and that drains the coolant. So if you're in a cold country, you don't get freeze. You know, your blocks don't crack from freezing. Now that there, that should have been, look, I think an inch and a 16th comes to mind, but I only had 1 inch brass hex, and I didn't have any big enough left over now to make a bigger hex, so I've changed that ever so slightly. Now the thread there is 7/8. Oh, I also threaded all this. Now the thread in the head on early McCormick's and International M's and that, for that 7/8 threads plug is 7/8 threads per inch, and UNF is 7/8 threads per inch. That bloody thing was 7/8 thread per inch. I didn't have a tap or a die or anything like that, and I tried to do it on the lathe and I buggered it up. I must have a bit of a brain fart. So that there now is 7/8. So it's not the correct thread, but it's fine. Like, it'll do the job. It'll look nice. It'll be okay. The exhaust, I've had all this out. I've redone all the steel around there. I've riveted it to make it look period correct. I've got all my clevis pins or split pins all in the one box. I've been sitting. I've actually been having a good time in the shed here. Just poking along, trying to not to do too much. God, bloody sticky. Trying not to do too much and yeah, get a bit done at the same time. But over on the bench on the wall, now I've got this bench, it's 20 foot long. I'm such an untidy bastard that you haven't been able to put anything decent on it or work on it for years. And it's one of them gunner things, gonna bloody fix it up and gonna tidy it up and gonna do something else. And I did it. There was half a wheelie bin of stuff, old paint cans and paint that had gone off and things like that. I've got probably so much up this end of the bench that everything's been put up there, paint tins that I've got to sort through and see if the paint's still good or not. But from the vice down to the door, there's a red toolbox there that has always had like tractor keys, hose fittings for the garden, the rider mower blades and things like that. But it's an old rooted looking thing. I said to Jude, I'm just going to go to Renegade and Trade Tools here and I'm just going to buy a nice box to sit on the end there just to keep that stuff in, because that old box, I've actually got the drawers propped up with wood and it's just buggered. So, and I have a 2 horsepower International non-Pirelli engine over there, and I pulled it apart bloody years ago and it's been sitting on the bench all that time. I've turned up brand new crankshaft main bearings for it. I've just pulled the conrod and all out because I couldn't remember what I'd done, so I had to pull it out and have a look. But doing this famous for the club has got me looking at that, and I never realised until doing this one that the little dipper on the big end just wasn't there. Like, it's been pulled apart before me, and yeah, the head was buggered, and I've done the head, and I actually got a carby cast by Don Oberholzer in America for it many years ago. And so while I'm doing this one, I'm sort of doing a bit on that one, and while I'm playing around making making fuel pump rods, well, I need to make one for that. So while I got the setup up there, I'll be making two. So the fuel pump, or the water pump bracket on this engine of the clubs, pardon me, a bit of asthma again. It was buggered, and they had this old thing with bloody rat-eaten holes and all that. So the other day I've jumped on, I've still got to tidy this up a bit, and I've made a new water pump bracket. I had to make a bracket for a bracket, and once ago I need to tidy it up here, but I run out of belts on the belt sander, but I've got them now. Judy picked me up some. So I've made that bracket. It's similar. No one will really know looking at it that it's not the original one. You'd actually have to hop right up in and see this here come down in two, like in a Y, but you would actually have to lay under it and see that. So that needs sandblasting and just the rust converter on. An interesting thing about the CRC rust converter, now they gave me a pot of it, and I've been using the pressure packs, and they're over there. I've been using the pressure packs. I'll go and get it just to show you there. And we sell these at work. We've been selling a lot, and the mates have been buying it because they're seeing what I do in here. And this stuff was the duck's nuts, and that stuff was the same stuff. So I thought, well, that stuff there, I'll put some in a pot, and the parts that I clean, just say this here, like everything's getting bead blasted, and it brings out the detail in everything, and then covered in this stuff until we can get to paint it. But for some reason, you spray it with this stuff, it stays really good. You get a good covering, good coating, the whole lot, and it goes black, no worries. With this brush-on stuff, with the brush-on stuff, you brush it on, and it doesn't seem to go as well, and you come back the next day and there's a slight rusty film there, and you have to go over again. So yeah, Judy was in town, so I was like, can you just pop around the shop and grab me a couple of these out of stock, please? So yeah, that seems better in the aerosol than the liquid. And I don't know what the difference is. Perhaps there's something in this that makes it stick better or do something, but you can spray a housing with this. Next day there will not be a sausage of surface rust. You brush it on with that stuff, and I've even got where are we here? I even got a spray going, a spray bottle, and put it in there and sprayed it on the parts just to see if spraying made a difference. And it's still not cutting the mustard as good as this stuff. This stuff, probably if you sprayed it on a floor pan in a car or something, be fine. But it's just, I don't know, just on what I'm doing, it's just not quite the same. So anyway, that's neither here nor there, I suppose. Yeah, I'll have to put a CRC order in. I'm going to go back to work tomorrow, so I'll have a few things like that to do. Yeah, I'm going to tackle the stairs at work and go up there. I've had a good setup at home here with the aircon and the computers and that, and I've been feeding a fair bit into, well, the week between Christmas and New Year I haven't put anything on the new Bundy Bears website, but I've got a lot of stuff I can do there. So when I get to work this week, I'm going to try and concentrate on that. But yeah, this little, I'm all over the place, all over the road. The little 2-horse non-Pirelli over there, yeah, it's the 9th one ever made in the world. It has a different carby to the normal ones. Apparently when they come out first up, they had a famous junior carby on it. When we got that engine, it come from Mount Perry, which is an hour and a half west of us, and it had a sprocket on the crank with a clamp around the side and a high tension magneto and so what looked like a Model T carby on it, and it was all bodged up, so we're trying to get it to standard. But anyway, I'm working with the two of them now, and it's working out quite well. I'm enjoying doing it, but I haven't been filming any of it. Some of the engine videos I've done in the past, they're just not popular. People don't seem interested, or I'm not known for it, or something like that. Who knows? But and yeah, with the rain and all that, I haven't been bothering anyway. But if you want to keep up with that, jump on my Facebook page or the Instagram, Bundy Bear Shed Instagram page, and yeah, you'll just see the little photographs and the snippets, and as I put the old next to new and things like that. And on my Facebook page, I've actually got an album called RCVMC, which is Rum City Vintage Machinery Club, 3 horsepower famous, and I'm putting it all in an album there. So all my mates, the club members, can actually hop on my page, see what I'm doing with it, and there's just a record for those interested. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. Well, look, thanks for dropping by, everyone. I'll shut up. I'll grab the camera. I'll show you what I'm up to with this famous. I've got to get once I get the flywheel and that off, this other flywheel off, I've got to lift it off the wooden base and get it out the back and pressure clean it and give it a good degrease, and then we can start putting it together. And I'm nearly there. I've got all the timing off. I've got the whole bit out, but I just got to get this bloody shit pulley off. And we'll work from there. I've got new oxy, so I'll heat it if I need to, and we'll go from there. And I'll show you the non-Pirel, and I'll show you my clean bench. And you won't think it's clean because I've got all the parts laid out there, but it's clean. You should be excited. So anyway, look, have a great year. Happy New Year once again. Have a good year, everyone. Thanks for following along last year. I don't know how much content I'm going to get done. I'll try and keep rattling them out. I do enjoy the interaction. Do the like and subscribe and comment, and I've got some great followers that comment every video, and look, I love it. And they're the backbone of the whole thing. So thanks again. Have a great year, and yeah, we'll catch you a bit later on, eh? See ya. Well, this is the Club 3 horsepower famous. It's on a cart there. I've got the sleeve off. That's got to be sandblasted this morning. I'll try and do the sandblasting in the morning because the sun on the back wall there makes it hot of an afternoon. But yeah, look, all the timing gears, all the shafts are off. I've got the flywheel on the cranking side sitting off over there, and that's the, I'll try and stay out of the not in part shadows. So it has a cooling tank, and it pumps up through the engine and cools on that screen. And yeah, that's your timing gear, and this is the eccentric that your fuel pump runs on. Bronze slippers on the big end. But yeah, this is the pulley I'm having trouble getting off. Yeah, I might weld a nut, if you can see that, I don't know. I might weld a nut onto that key and slide that key out because I can't, there's no tags left on things. So yeah, that's that one. And look, once I get this other flywheel off, I can lift this off the base, take it outside with the forklift and give it a good pressure clean and clean the sump out and do all that. Needle scale the whole thing, get all the paint off and put a bit of that rust converter on, then paint it red. I should have the International Red this next week. Whether I paint it or not depends how humid it is, and we'll just go from there. So, but yeah, the cart needs a tidy up, the whole thing. So that's not too bad. Then, oh, there's a flare out for you. Now, this is my bench. That's the old toolbox I'm replacing. The junk you keep, they're blades I had for our Toro mower that I haven't had in bloody years. The other ones are blades for the John Deere that need resharpening. And this is the little 2 horsepower non-Pirel engine, and there's a lot of work in it, but it's rare as. It's well worth doing. Over the time I've had to make a new top for the rocker assembly. That was all broken, and it had a strap bolted up over the top there to hold it all together. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, if I might do it again or not. Looks like I'd started making new valves, but I might be able to save them, who knows. That's an oil pump casting I bought years ago. Oh, sorry, a fuel pump casting, and that's a spare fuel pump I've found since. And these, I mean, these don't actually have a spark plug in them. They have a thing called an igniter, and what happens is at the right time these points close and open again, and that causes a little spark, and that's enough to get the big bang. And that's the little carby that old Don overhauls. I don't even know if he's still going, Don. It's been a long time. That's a casting that he did in the States. It's a bit rough, some of the flaps and that, but I can sort that out, no worries. But yeah, so I've got that set up there. I've got a stool to sit on. I've got a fan that I put on there to blow a bit of wind across the whole job. So so that sort of helps us. Yeah, there's just different times of the day. It's good to work in different places in the shed. So when I'll have this one going, who knows? There's just no urgency, but I am finding it interesting doing it along with the other one. The other one, the club's having a show in September, and everything has to be sorted by then. And I said, look, I will try and do that, but just, yeah, no pressure, leave me alone. So we'll see how we go. Anyway, that's it. That's what I'm up to with these little engines.